Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dalaran, and Blizzard is going to be doing a lot of changes when it comes to Shadowlands, the new expansion, primarily focusing on the leveling aspect of the game. They're going to be doing a lot of changes when it comes to classes, the new zones, the new systems, but one of the systems that needs revisiting is the current leveling system. There's a couple things that they want to solve, and I was super happy that they talked about it in the last presentation. First of all, leveling is, as it is, very messy. Leveling takes maybe a little bit too long, and overall the storylines for while you level are very confusing. It does get very confusing when you're able to hop from one expansion and into the next and into the next, usually never really having to finish one story before you're beginning the next. That experience, if you want to play an MMO with a storyline, can definitely take you out of the experience, and I would imagine this would be very discomforting and jarring for anybody who decides to play World of Warcraft as a very new player. So Blizzard wants to make massive adjustments for the leveling experience for the next expansion. So in this video we'll talk about everything that Shadowlands is going to do in order to make leveling the experience itself and how you end up leveling in the future of WoW in this video. We can all agree the current World of Warcraft is very focused about the endgame. And if you're a new player, you're trying to join the end game with everybody else, but the leveling just takes so long, so it's almost like a sprint, it's almost like a marathon. You're just trying to get to the end game content so you can finally start playing with everybody else. And even when Blizzard added party sync, so if guildies or friends wanna sync themselves down to your level to help you level and do a couple dungeons, most players find themselves still kind of stuck by themselves until they get through the grind, until they unlock that mythical level 120, and then they can join the fun with everybody else. So for some of the updates in Shadowlands, the first thing Blizzard wants to do is first of all create a level squish. Instead of having us end at level 120, the max level for the new expansion before Shadowlands is going to be level 50, so all your 120 characters are going to be 50. This does mean that every new level that you unlock gets you some sort of a reward. Because right now you'll go from level 1 to 120 and you'll go huge gaps of levels without getting a new ability, a new passive, or anything new to look forward to. So Blizzard wants to change that and make the leveling experience a little bit more fun, but also wants to fix some of the issues that leveling, just grinding through quest to quest in World of Warcraft has done through a couple of years and a couple of expansions back to back. For example, Blizzard wants to make the experience of leveling from level 1 to the new level 50 in the Shadowlands a faster experience. Something about 60 to 70% faster, so you can get on to the newest expansion as soon as humanly possible. They also want to fix some of the inconsistencies when it comes to storylines for World of Warcraft. Have you ever asked yourself as a new player who the hell is the actual war chief, because as you level they go through 3 or 4 or even 5 different war chiefs throughout the game. The World of Warcraft universe has built up a rich storyline through Classic, BC, Wrath, Kata, Mob, WoD, Legion, and into BFA. And to play through all those storylines all in a single sitting is a little jarring. It's a lot of events that happen in a very short time, unlike how right now in BFA it takes us multiple patches and multiple weeks for the storylines to advance before we get to see the culmination of it all. So the goal is to, first of all, have a faster leveling experience. Second, make sure the storylines for any of the returning players or even players that are brand new, the storylines must make sense. There should be a choice with so many different storylines for you to play through. What if players were able to play the stories that they really just want to re-experience all over again? It also feels a little bit weird to go through all these different expansions as we have right now, and while they are filled with story, sometimes you don't even get to finish a full storyline of an expansion before you have to move on to simply out-level the area. Have any of you played Pandaria and got through Jade Forest and then you were done? For some reason, the amount of XP you get in Jade Forest alone is enough to get you going into WoD and into Legion and then into BFA. So there's a couple things that Blizzard is going to be doing altogether. First of all, a brand new starting zone. The starting zone is going to be there for any players that are brand new to the game that never played before, but also it's going to be an alternative starting zone if you are a veteran player and you've leveled through Northshire or the Drudges of Durotar plenty of times as a level 1 character, and you just want a brand new experience, maybe a rich story-filled experience to start your journey, maybe with some brand new assets. There comes in a brand new starting story zone of Exile's Reach, where instead of starting as a level 1 human or a level 1 orc in Durotar and starting from the bottom as a drudge, you end up starting out as a recruit for the Alliance or Horde. You find out that a scouting team has been sent to Exile's Reach, but they haven't reported in a long while. So as a recruit of the Alliance or Horde, it is your mission to head over to Exile's Reach and figure out its mysteries. This is where you'll start as a level 1 character, alone, stranded in this brave new world, but also a scary world. You find out that this zone is actually inhabited by ogres, and ogres have taken all of your comrades of your faction as captives. So now it's your journey to figure out what happened on this island, why the ogres are capturing all your comrades, and what is going on, and how can you leave. And it culminates into a massive storyline where you figure out that a necromancer is behind the island and the disappearance of your friends. So it is up to you to stop the necromancer and bring your captured Horde or Alliance members back to Orgrimmar or Stormwind. And honestly, the idea behind the starting zone for this area with the story stuff, it's just almost like a classic RPG. Of course, not the most, stereotypical RPG beginning that you would have in Dungeons and Dragons or anything like that, but it's a start nonetheless, and I'm actually very, very excited about the prospects of what this might look like in gameplay. The starting zone is also meant to have a dungeon for you to run either solo or with friends, and it's a scenario, so it doesn't really need a healer, it doesn't really need a tank. A couple DPS should be able to do just fine. But it's supposed to introduce to some of you the newer mechanics you might see in some of the newer expansion dungeons and even raids, for some of the base mechanics like, don't stand in fire, but also some of the more complicated mechanics that have been shown in expansions like Legion for Mythic Plus dungeons, or even BFA Mythic Plus dungeons. From there, you head back to Orgrimmar or Stormwind, and then you begin your journey. And the journey that Blizzard decided to do is simply have you level through one of the many expansions for World of Warcraft, level through one storyline, and that should be enough to get you started with Shadowlands. Every brand new player that never played World of Warcraft will be forced to play the Battle for Azeroth story, simply to catch up to what is happening in Shadowlands, with Sylvanas being at the forefront and all. So that's what every new player is going to have to do, but a veteran player is going to be able to choose where they want to go. So if you want to level through level 10 through 50 through Vanilla Zones or BC, Wrath of Lich King storyline, Cataclysm, Pandaria, WoD, Legion, or Battle for Azeroth, you could choose to do so. And all you have to do is level through one expansion's storyline, if you choose so. You'll have Chromie in order to help you set up, and get the scaling technology in order to get you prepped. So you will start as a level 10 character in somewhere like Legion, which I think is weird at first, but I think it's kind of a cool place to start with, just with the scaling technology to be able to jump right into your favorite expansion. But the game will not force you either if you are a veteran player and you only want to experience bites of every expansion. You're not going to be forced and locked into playing the story of an expansion you choose to. You can go to Pandaria and do the Jade Forest introduction, and after that, that's your favorite part, you don't want to do the rest of Pandaria, you're more than welcome to leave and do the expansions that you want to do. You can do them in bits and pieces, kind of like how we do them right now, and you'll be just fine. Although if you do decide to do the leveling starting zone and the storyline of an expansion, it'll have you go through the full deal. So going through the full, I guess what would be equivalents to 110 to 120 BFA leveling, so go through all the zones, all the story stuff of Vol'dun, Nazmir, Zuldazar, that should be enough experience to get you from level 10 to level 50. And then next comes the brand new expansion, Shadowlands, and you'll be able to jump into it straight away. So Blizzard wants to give you a little bit more options in terms of how you want to level, which I think is a good idea. We have so many different stories of different expansions, some we like more than others, and some we might not even remember and might want to relive them. With the ability to apply the scaling technology to the game, to level through a zone anywhere between level 10 to 50 by going through the full storyline of it, finishing the whole thing from start to end, is actually quite cool and very, very exciting for me. To be able to go and redo Pandaria all over again, and Legion, which was by far my favorite expansion out of the ones I played starting with Cataclysm. Maybe I would do Cataclysm at least once, and eventually Wrath of Lich King, maybe even just level a new character and go through Vanilla Zones, or Cataclysm reshape Vanilla Zones, I guess, in a way. I think stuff like that is going to be really cool. It's going to have good replayability, one, because you don't have to go through every single expansion every time you start a brand new character all over again. you'll be able to choose which ones you want to play and which ones you want to skip out on. If you do decide to do a little bit of a mix of both, kind of how you do things now, you'll be free to do so as well. And with the brand new starting zone with Exile's Reach, I think it's going to be very exciting in a fresh new way, but also a much easier intro area instead of doing the Worgen starting zone or the Goblin starting zone all over again. So overall, everything that Blizzard presented for the leveling stuff in Shadowlands seems really like a good idea, and I'm very excited about it. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts about the new leveling changes that Blizzard wants to add for the new expansion of Shadowlands and the new systems that come with it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see all of you in another video.